Good morning, welcome to Strip Threads. I am Michael, your host. We are back on the Celica. I got the carburetor off of it, and it was just running like crap. Real bad vacuum leak. Sprayed some brake clean around the base, and it was leaking horribly around the base. Gasket. It may not even be a gasket in there. I don't know. It really looks like this carburetor was put on, and the guy couldn't get it running right, and that was like the last time it was run. I don't know if that's true. Nobody really knows the history behind this car. So I gotta get the adapter loose, but some of the bolts are really fighting me. I'll show you here. I'm gonna have to put some heat on them. I did get that one loose. These other three are in there tight. I don't want to break the socket, so we're gonna do that. One thing I did notice, it has quite a bit of blow-by. Enough that the condensation filled this hose with water. And when I pulled the PCV valve out, expecting vacuum, it was actually pulsing. Now, there wasn't really pressure on it, but there wasn't vacuum either. I'd put a vacuum gauge up against the end of it, and it didn't do anything. I chased it down to see where they'd routed it, and they had it sitting back here. And as you can see, there's a plate here. It's a plate, and it's got a threaded fitting there in the middle, and it had just a nipple coming off it going to the PCV. And I was like, that's vacuum? Maybe? So I pulled the hose off of it, and lo and behold, it's blowing exhaust. That's the EGR. That's where the EGR went. So some genius hooked up the PCV to the exhaust port on the EGR. Yeah. So it's not a big deal for me to plug that. I mean, I could buy a block-off point, but I've actually got a pipe plug I'm just going to throw in it. So where do you find vacuum? You've got all these, these are in coolant, this one and that one, so they don't pull vacuum. You've got this one here for the brake booster, but you can't put the PCV in line because then the brake booster won't get enough vacuum. Speaking of that, I've got a new brake booster for it. Or brake master cylinder. And then there's this bastard. So what it had this in there. It had 3 ports, and I didn't realize it had 3 because that one was open. I took it out, put the nipple right into it. There's my PCV. I've got it loose so that when I do fire it up, I can actually check it and make sure it's flowing enough, because I'm a little worried about that 90 degree there, whether or not it'll actually pull enough volume. Anyway, so with the smog pump being seized and that being disconnected, I'm going to rip out all of this stuff that's not needed anymore. But first, I need to get that off. I've got a new gasket set coming from Redline. Should be here later this week. There's other things I need to do. I need to do that master cylinder, get it all bled up. I need to bleed the clutch master. I can put hoses, belts, and thermostat in it, but I'll probably do that after I get it running. I need to seal up this windshield. You've got these huge gaping cracks in the gasket here. I'm just going to goop a bunch of silicone in it. I don't want to damage the windshield because it's actually still good. And it's got some paint overspray on it, but somebody will need this. And I'm not interested in getting rich off of stuff, but if I can make 50 bucks off of it and somebody gets a good windshield, there you go. I need to seal that. I need to do the same thing on the rear. I had Luke pull all that chrome off. We pulled all this chrome off around here so I can make sure I get the silicone in there, but as you can see, all this dirt needs to get out. I need to lift up. I don't even think I can. I think it's probably too crunchy. Yeah, that is way too hard. I need to get it sealed, though. I can't have it dripping on me. That needs to get done. Got to bleed all the brakes, flush the fluid probably. I need to work on the interior, get it cleaned out. There's a huge mouse nest behind the seat. The one seat that's in it. That needs to come out along with the remainder of the carpet that's still in there. Vacuum everything, maybe scrub everything with some bleach. I'm not going to worry about changing the seats just yet unless I get delayed. Like if I don't get that gasket set, I can't fire it off anyway, and if I get all these other chores done, then I'll jump on that and get the seats put in. I need to plug off that hole and all those little holes. Trying to keep from having too many air leaks in this thing, water leaks. And I have to put tires on it. money is something I don't have much of right now. So, alrighty, we're gonna get some heat on this adapter plate and get started with that. Hopefully I don't damage anything else by doing this. I mean, it is just aluminum. I'm not a huge fan of these multi-piece adapters myself, and they've been soaking in penetrant, so I don't know why they're still stuck. Electrolysis, I guess. That mouse nest definitely didn't do me any favors. Make sure I'm not burning any hoses or anything down here. Okay. Nope, that one's not coming. No, that one's just about ready to twist off. Okay. No, I don't want to have to put a grinder down in there. Okay, that's the one I already got loose. There it went. Well, I had to get medieval on this motherfucker. I got that guy out of there. Just learned that there's coolant apparently that went through the base of the original carburetor that probably had something to do with all the electrolysis here. So one of the previous owners, on these two guys, he had nuts on the bottom, so that explains why those were impossible to get out. That guy was just welded in, that guy came out, so I'm going to run a tap down through there and clean it all up. I want to tap through there, but I don't think there's any threads in there anyway. I'm going to have to get new hardware, obviously, but I think we'll be okay. Alrighty, so I had to drill out the bolt holes. I got them out, drained the coolant because it was going down the intake. Got the air injection line off because I had a big hole in it anyway, and I welded up those two tubes. Got the new master cylinder put on, bench bled. I still got to bleed the wheel. I started taking some more of the old carpeting out. I got the big mouse nest, the carpet and padding out from behind the seat. Got some more up front, got some tunnel on. I actually took a Courier shifter boot I had and made it work. So the project that I'm on to now is putting the taillights in. If I don't have taillights, I'm damn sure not going to be spending money buying them, not to mention all this rust back here. Those Volvo doors I've been trying to give away for the last 18 months, nobody wants them, so I chopped a big chunk of metal off of them, and I'll do it again for that side. So I'm just going to weld this over, or screw this over the hole, cut the two holes out for the trailer lights, and go with that. I need to go down and get my little bender. I don't have a brake, just these trailer lights here, and my big old hole saw. So when I do that, at the same time I'll be patching this up. And this isn't again, this whole car is going to get chopped up, but this is to keep the weather out, keep exhaust fumes out. You know, so I'm still going to drive this thing this winter is the plan, and drive it across the country. I got to fill this hole and all these bolt holes and all that crap. Alrighty, I'm going to get busy. And there you have it. Simple yet elegant. If this was a drift car or something, it'd be perfect, but, you know, it's just a POS rusted out Celica. So, what I was going to do is just clean up this white paint and leave it nice shiny white, whatever. So I made this side, put it over on another door. I didn't flip it the right way and ended up with 2 lefts. So that's why we have that. I'll just rattle can the whole thing black before I put the bulbs in. I don't care that much what it looks like, but one thing I'm trying not to do is attract undue attention, even though I don't think I'm going to be running unlawful. I don't want to tempt fate, because a lot of the police in these small towns, even though they will argue they don't do this, they do in fact pull over out-of-state vehicles, write them tickets for stuff they don't do, and because they know that people aren't going to come back and fight the ticket. So I want to avoid that if I can. You know, when I first moved to Oklahoma, I got 15 speeding tickets the first year I was there. Once was I actually speeding. And then I got Oklahoma plates and I never got stopped again for like 8 years. So yeah, they're just a pop-in trailer lights. Nothing special. I wanted to put it all the way up into here, but the problem is there's a lot of metal in there. Let's see if I can get this light. There you go. See, there's all that metal. I could have cut it out, I guess, but I didn't really want to mess with it. I don't know how much of that stuff I might have to keep when I do the cricket swap. Yeah. Everything went on there pretty good. I got all this rust right there. And, you know, back here where it was coming apart. See, it's now strong. I've got to run a couple more screws in this corner over here and scrape all that undercoating off, and then scuff them, paint them. Well, scuff them, screw them back on, scuff the rest of the area, paint it black, and call it good. Okay, well, that's going to conclude our night. This is about it. We're good. We'll get back on it tomorrow. I got the in-laws coming over with a pallet of pallets that we have to go load, and I am exhausted. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Okay, so that's where we left off last night. Now we're going to mask it off, throw a little paint on it, pop the lights in, blah, 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 blah. Looking a little Bozoku, Shakotan, something like that, maybe. I don't know. Oh. Not really my style. So I did pop the taillights in, and frankly, the more I look at it, the less I like it. It looks like hell, but I mean, this is a car. It's going to get chopped up. It's got a one-way trip to Kansas, and then it's getting cut up, so it doesn't make a difference. I shouldn't care, I guess. It just bugs me. Okay, so today, what we're going to try to accomplish here is getting some caps made for those 2 holes. And I need to go pull the filler neck off my other Courier gas tank and see if I need to pull the hose and the filler neck, because tomorrow when I go back to work I need to find these 2 hoses and a piece of pipe, and I'm going to put the filler neck here. I may even put it here where this hole is, I don't know, but I'm going to run it, instead of having it hang there, then when I got to hold the thing when I fill it up, and then have this inside the car, which I don't really like. I'm going to run it over here and see what. Yeah, see, there's not a lot of room for it, and the lower I go, the more likely it's going to be to regurgitate when I fill the tank. So, Yeah, that hole over there might just be the one. Of course, the back seat's gonna be there too, so I don't know. I need to go through and kind of plan this a little bit. I can fill that one over there first, and then we'll deal with this later. What I'll probably do for this edge is just get some stick-on thick foam weather stripping. I'm very, very afraid of exhaust getting in the back here and me having to breathe it. There are so many holes here that will allow, negative airspace. It'll allow the exhaust to get sucked in. I mean, even here in the hatch, you see where it's all rusted out. That's going to suck air. So at what point do you just give up? I don't know. Probably now. How, like as far as this goes, the fit of these panels I made, you can see daylight down there. So I'm just going to run a whole bunch of silicone inside here. I'll put Gorilla Tape over all the little bullet holes, and that'll get filled in. There's some pinholes here, rust, that'll get whatevered. And then hole down there, you can see that's going to get covered up. But, as far as this hatch goes, what I might do is just take my stripping wheel over it, get it as clean as I can, and then just mix up some Bondo and just smear it all over the bottom and fill in all these little holes. Not even sand it down, just leave it, There's that. So I did get in the hardware for the red line adapter, and I got in the gear shifter, the knob anyway, the gear shift knob. I left that inside. I can put that on. I'll take just 5 seconds. I can't do anything with the carburetor until I get the gaskets. And I'm not going to get impatient and just make gaskets or find something else to deal with it. I'm going to wait. But even once I do get it put together and running, I can't run it very long because I don't have any coolant in it. I don't have any coolant for it, and it's getting cold enough now I don't want to put straight water in it. So as you'll remember, you had coolant coming out of these 2 holes here, and there might be some down in the engine. I hope not. So I don't want to fill the radiator yet because I need to replace the thermostat. I need to replace the upper and lower radiator hoses. Yeah, that is bad. That is really bad. There's no point in me filling this thing up with antifreeze just a week or 2 later down the road, a month later, drain it all back out. I don't want to deal with that. I'm just going to take care of it now. So I can pull that off, pull the hoses off. Now, heater hoses I think I'm going to let fly. They don't look bad. They don't feel bad. I know these clamps aren't going to hold up. Hopefully they won't blow out on the trip out there. I'll probably be doing it before it gets hot anyway, so we'll see. I can bleed the brakes. I don't know how much I can get done today. I'm not really feeling up to it today already, so we'll see. Okay, so I guess I should get started. A couple interesting factoids about this car. God, focus sucks on this camera. That's an original Toyota key. The odometer shows 51,617 miles. Now the pedal looks very worn, like 150,000. There's no carpeting. Generally I've noticed, and it's not always the same, but if there's a hole worn in the carpet right below the gas pedal and the brake pedal, that's about 100,000. If the paint is worn off the top of the door, that's usually 100,000. But factory Toyota key. We've got a factory Toyota belt. Toyota. You've got a factory Toyota reman alternator, so it's not the factory for this, but it's for Toyota rather than aftermarket. And I just pulled thermostat housing. It's very clean inside there. This is a thermostat, and you can't see because this camera sucks. But right there, that little round thing right there, is the factory Toyota emblem. Factory Toyota cap. So I was kind of thinking maybe this car is really low mileage. I don't know. I mean, look at the block. Most of these things are just completely covered in oil, because I haven't seen an R series engine yet that didn't puke oil everywhere. This one doesn't look like it is. Not yet, anyway. The other side is pretty much the same. So I don't know. Heater hoses are original, although it looks like the radiator hoses are not. Could be 51. I doubt it seriously, but who knows? It's probably, I mean, these plug wires are date coded 1985, and I accidentally burned one when I welded this up. It's probably somebody who took the thing back to the dealer and had it worked on, which is a good thing. That's probably why it still runs. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to pop that hose off, the lower radiator hose off, and then tomorrow when I go to work I will have them with me, and then I'll be able to make sure I get the right ones. Okay, on to bigger and better things. Alrighty, there you have it. They're all wired up. Of course, the inboard lights are the brake lights as well. I gotta be honest with you though, the more I look at these things, the more I hate them. But I have to keep reminding myself, this is a parts car, this thing is junk, it's gonna get chopped up. These lights do not matter. So, yeah, they will work, they will make it legal, they will make it safe. Turn you off, and still got no gas gauge. That's kind of weird. I know it works. It worked in the Courier. Oh well, we'll see. I'll fill it up and we'll see if it moves. Okay, so there's that. For some odd reason I can't find my test light anywhere. Oh well. It was pretty cheap anyway, but... So I got the bottom hose off, and the damn thing looks brand new. Inside, the outside's dusty, but the outside still looks fine. The spring inside didn't even have any calcium buildup, any scale or anything on it, no rust. So you know, I'm just gonna run it. The lower hoses usually don't fail. It's usually the upper hoses that fail. So upper hose and thermostat's gonna get done. Tasty. Tastier yet. Maybe this guy was on top of his oil changers, or he ran it for a while with that thing hooked up to the exhaust, and did all kinds of nasty. So the gaskets are actually due to be here today, but the way the post office works, I probably won't see them till 4. So at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be pretty burnt, but I may come out here and get it running, because I really want to hear it run with everything fixed. So I'll probably come out and work on it in the dark. It's already pretty cool outside. It's getting colder, and of course when the sun goes down it's going to get really bad. So yeah, I'm going to keep plugging along, keep fixing various things, getting this thing ready for the road. I got to find out the wiper arm. Yeah, all kinds of caca. Okay, gaskets came in, hardware came in. I got the adapters cleaned up. It would have been nice to blast these, but I don't have a blaster. I'm not a big fan of these multi-piece carburetor adapters. They do make a one-piece, but they're kind of expensive. These have a propensity to come loose. They have a propensity to leak when the gaskets shrink, which is probably what happened here. Because of that, I don't like to use Loctite, because then it makes it a real pain in the ass to take apart when you have to replace gaskets. So because of that, I use this. I am not a fan of using sealers on carburetor parts, intakes, but in this case, because of the issues, I think it's necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and I use this stuff. I don't goop it all over. I just paint the gasket. I make the gasket sticky. So I'm going to do that, put it together, and fire this bad boy off and run it. And like I said before, I can't run it very long because I don't have coolant in it. One of the other things I did, I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, I did take these thermal vacuum switches out of here and out of the water neck, and I mean, look at that. That is in damn good shape. Need to wire brush that, but yeah, you know. So we're going to plug those off just because these things are, they don't do anything anymore. I mean, they're not going to leak. I could just leave them in there and forget about it, but they look like hell, and the one, I think at least the one of them was kind of in the way of the getting a tool down in there to tighten that up. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up, get it together, and fire it off. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, got it all bolted on, and we're going to fill the bowl. I'm going to bump the starter a few times, which will kick the fuel pump relay on and enough to fill the bowl. And we're going to see how it runs. There was one of the little Allen-headed screws between the two adapters that was stripped. I'm hoping the other three will hold on enough for it, but with that high tack on there, it should be okay. I did not put any sealer on the carburetor side of the top gasket. I don't want it getting sucked into the ports and such. So, vacuum gauge is steady. It's awfully low though. It's only 14 inches. I don't know if the timing's that late. It doesn't sound like it. It actually sounds pretty decent, but if you remember, it was looking like Old Faithful with the blow-by. Still kind of does, I guess. Oh. Damn it, it was doing so well, too. Come on, come on. Pick up some of this stuff tomorrow. Okay, well, I'm not getting a big vacuum leak anymore. That's a lot better. We're up to almost 17 inches of vacuum. PCV is working. Carburetor sucks. Okay, the battery died last time, and so I didn't really get to tell you much about it. So where we're at right now is when it does idle well, it's idling at about 1100, 1200 RPM. So we're into the vacuum advance a little bit. And it's pulling 15 inches of vacuum, 14 inches of vacuum, which is about 5 inches too low. Could possibly be retarded valve timing, cam timing. I don't think so, but I don't know. I haven't checked the points yet. I'm pretty sure this is still points. I mean, it is electronic ignition, but it uses points to fire the igniter rather than a Hall effect. So the carburetor won't idle below that. It gets down to like 200 and it's chugging and it's running super lean and just crap, and then it stalls out. So at that point I think I pretty well just gave up. But what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to go ahead and get the thermostat back in. I'm going to get the upper radiator hose back in. I'm going to fill the cooling system up, and I'm going to run it, let it run as long as possible. I may give it a Tijuana overhaul real quick, and if that doesn't work, then tomorrow, I'm going to yank the carburetor off, and then tomorrow at work, Sunday, it's really slow, especially if there's a game, which I think there is, and I'm going to go through that other Weber I have and take all the goodies off of this one, stick them on that one, and then we'll have that. So that's where we're at for tonight. I do need to chase down the power. I got to figure out why the fuel pump relay isn't kicking on. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know where my damn test light is. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start poking around on that real quick, because it won't take me very long to put this thermostat in. Everything's clean and ready to go, so yeah, I'm going to go do some poking around.